leptin, and it's obese, morbidly obese. This is the same mouse with injections of leptin. Now that mouse is still overweight, but it's, my gosh, you know, look at, what is it, half the size? Huge difference, just from leptin injections. But leptin injections won't help humans who are obese, unless they are one of the few rare people that don't make any leptin. Okay, lots more to learn about leptin. It's, you know, we used to think fat cells, you know, you just had a cell membrane, a bunch of fat in a nucleus, and not much went on in fat cells. Now we know fat cells produce all sorts of things. The age of learning about fat cells is here, and they're far more complex cells than we ever thought before. And like I said, we're in the infancy of understanding leptin. Ghrelin. It's another hormone produced by the stomach. It goes to the hypothalamus and turns on hunger, plus other roles. And levels of ghrelin vary from people to people. And it normally declines after you eat. So your ghrelin goes up when you haven't eaten. That is part of what turns on hunger. And then as you eat, the ghrelin levels go down, but it's been shown that in obese people, it doesn't go down. It doesn't go down. Levels of ghrelin are also high in people who have lost weight, which may contribute to the challenge of losing weight and keeping it off. That when you've lost that weight, you kind of have a tendency to be hungry a lot more. On the other hand, when people have gastric surgery, they make a lot less ghrelin. And so that the immediate decrease in hunger in people who have gastric bypass surgery is not because their stomach is tiny and can only hold that much food. It's that they don't have ghrelin pumping their brain saying, eat, eat, eat. Believe me, I'm sure they're looking for a drug that can block ghrelin, but to my knowledge, it hasn't been closely shown. PYY, peptide YY, is produced by the small intestines after you eat. Post-absorptive state means after you've eaten. And it causes ghrelin to decline, and it turns on satiety. There have been some studies that have been positive results of giving people PYY, and it's enabled them to eat less and lose weight. So there may be a drug that comes out of something related to PYY. Now, I got to tell you, and there's a few in your book, there are so many other hormones and neurotransmitters and substances that are involved in when we're hungry, when we're full, and what we want to eat. And now all these chemicals are ultimately influenced by our genes, but they're also influenced by our environment. And we don't know all about them. We just don't know enough about them. There are many, many that are mentioned in your text. You don't need to know them all for the next exam. So just focus on the ones on the PowerPoint slides, but if you're interested, your book mentions adiponectin. I don't know how, I've never heard that said, so I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. Oxyntomodulin, pancreatic peptide, resistin, vistatin. Those are just a few that are in your book. I've gone to some seminars and professional meetings, and I have to say my head is spinning after learning. I mean, it's so complex. So complex. We just take it all for granted. I feel like eating. I'm hungry. I'm full. Huge, you know, orchestra of events that go on to create that sensation. That is also influenced by our thoughts, our experiences, and our environment. And our experience of everything. It's all part of that. Okay.